Is this just an ordinary trip? Or is there something much bigger going on? When BTS's Jungkook showed up at the airport with eyes that couldn't be read, while Jimin disappeared from the public's radar the day before, the world immediately asked, is this a secret signal? Or proof that a new history is being written behind the scenes of the global music industry? And what is most surprising, this record is not the one that anyone ever predicted: new history. BTS's Jungkook Breaks unexpected record in the US. What really happened? Do you really believe that the world can no longer be surprised by a Jungkook? If so, then you haven't seen what happened this week. Because this time, not only fans, not only ARMY, not only Korean netizens, even the international world was silent for a moment, fixated on one moment that broke the line between reality and surprise that it happened so fast. A photograph. A video. One step away from Incheon Airport. One blink of an eye. Jungkook. Black hat. Gray sweater. A camera beam from afar that managed to capture his presence in silence. There is no official statement. No release schedule has been announced. But suddenly, the news that circulated was not only about his departure to the United States, except for the one thing that kept all eyes on him: a record, an achievement, which was never announced, not even by his own agency. But what exactly is going on? Before we talk about history, we need to ask one thing first. Why does Jungkook's departure this time feel so different? Usually, HYBE will dribble the atmosphere, set the media, make colorful announcements. But now? Nothing. Just shut up. Only steps are recorded on camera. And the fact that Jimin was also spotted at the airport the day before adds to the unanswered puzzle. Will they meet in America? Is this a secret project? Or is it a personal mission wrapped up as a holiday while harboring a global agenda that will change everything? And then the news came. Without a signal, without a promotion, Jungkook, with his single song, managed to break the record for the fastest playback in the history of Billboard digital song sales, with a song that was not even officially released in America. Yeah, you didn't read that wrong. The song leaked on one of the small streaming platforms, and within 72 hours, her name hit the top of the United States digital charts. The analysts were confused. The big labels are nervous. HYBE? Still mum, how could something like this happen? Even more surprising, the title of the song was not listed on Jungkook's official profile. The song only appeared once at last month's live session, which was then counted as a joke or practice song. But who would have thought it was the scattered amateur recordings that are now exploding? A song that was not given a name, was not given promotion, was not given an official release. But through the sky, is this a coincidence? Or sabotage? Or this, a form of Jungkook's silent resistance to the system that has been trying to regulate every second of his life? Moreover, this news comes hand in hand with concerns about privacy. A few days before his departure, Jungkook's private home was almost entered by a Saesing fan. The police did come quickly, but the trauma was real. Jungkook even once said, "I'm not a doll in a storefront." Words that feel increasingly heavy when combined with his silent achievement this time. What does he want to prove? That he doesn't need a stage to shine? That his work speaks louder than the huge posters on skyscrapers? Or is he sending a message to someone, to the world, that this is who he really is and he doesn't want to be controlled anymore? The ARMY was divided. Some believe that this song was deliberately leaked in order to see the public response. But others are sure. This is a scream in silence. A last-ditch effort to reveal something Jungkook couldn't say directly. And Jimin? Why was he seen first at the airport, the day before Jungkook? Do they go together but separate for the sake of avoiding the spotlight? Is this their way of disguising a secret collaboration that will shake the world? Or rather, is this a form of emotional solidarity in the midst of the storm Jungkook is facing? More surprisingly, from a trusted source in the music industry, who chose not to be named, there are rumors that this song is part of a full album that was denied release by the internal agency. The reason? Too emotional, too personal, too insinuating the system. And because of that, the song was put on hold. But now, society decides. And the community has spoken with millions of downloads in 3 days. Jungkook is now recorded as the first Korean solo artist to enter the top 3 of Billboard digital song sales with a song that was not officially released. That's never happened before. Not just in Korea. In the history of world music, could this be the beginning of a new resistance of artists to the industry? Or will this end with Jungkook being internally sanctioned, banned from promotion, or even suspended, given an unwritten sentence for going against the system? These questions have not yet been answered. But for sure, Jungkook's departure to America was no ordinary trip. It was the beginning of something bigger, something that can't be revealed with a press conference. Meanwhile, HYB remained silent. There is no clarification. There is no official statement about the song, not about Jimin, or Jungkook's whereabouts. As if they're planning something. Or they're overwhelmed. Whatever it is, one thing is certain. History has changed. And Jungkook wrote it. Without a voice, without an announcement, just with a song that was never named. Now the whole world is wondering, what is Jungkook's next move?
Done?
Is this a sign that the silent war between the freedom of artists and the control of industry has finally begun? And it was at this point that everything began to feel uncharacteristic. If you follow the rhythm of K-pop artists' releases, you will know that everything is calculated. Comeback plans are usually neatly polished months in advance. The teaser was dropped in carefully composed seconds. Even the clothes worn at the airport can have a hidden meaning. But Jungkook? He seemed to ignore all that, as if he was making a statement, not just to the public, but to the people behind the scenes, to the person from within the industry, whose identity we deliberately concealed for security reasons. Revealed that Jungkook had a violent disagreement with HYB's internal team several months before his departure date for America. The meeting was never officially announced, but witnesses who attended said that the debate involved decisions about overly personal material. One of the leaked quotes is Jungkook's sentence, "If I can't sing what I write myself, then what good is it for me to be called an artist?" This sentence shook the room, and perhaps shake up the entire creative direction that has been formed with the perfect narrative by the system. But what if this whole thing is indeed part of Jungkook's bigger plan, a move that targets not only numbers but also freedom? And behind the silence that enveloped the agency, the army was even more vocal. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram are flooded with amazingly complex conspiracy theories. One of the most viral was the hashtag #FreeTheJungkookFiles, which appeared after it was discovered that the metadata of the viral song contained a strange code, 0313_hypehush. Is it a date? Is that a password? Is Jungkook trying to send a message? Adding to the complexity of the situation, fans discovered that Jimin had posted a photo of the night sky with the cryptic caption, "A shining star will quietly shake the earth." The post was deleted in just 13 minutes, but his screenshots have been scattered. And of course, the theories are pouring in. Did Jimin give tacit support to Jungkook? Or is he also part of this secret project? Some fans have even speculated that the duo are working on an anti-system documentary, which will shed some light on how internal pressures are forcing artists to curb their creativity. Rumors about the existence of a small camera in Jimin's bag also became a heated discussion. Then, who are they hiding from? And while everyone was busy unraveling clues, reports suddenly surfaced from the alternative media in New York that Jungkook had been seen coming out of an independent music company building, not a major label. The building was known as a place where independent artists met with producers for experimental projects. There are eyewitnesses who say, he looked nervous, but also firm, like someone who knows he's fighting a storm but chooses to keep walking into the middle of it. This sentence gave rise to new speculations. Will Jungkook leave a major label? Is this a step towards complete freedom as a musician? And if so, what does it mean for the future of BTS? Because even though BTS is rumored to be reuniting after military service in mid-June 2025, now an even more terrible question begins to arise. Will they still be intact? Or is this the beginning of a silent split hidden behind the smile of a press conference? Returning to the broken record, it is important to note that this is not just statistics. This was a severe blow to the global music distribution system. When a song that isn't officially released can beat songs that are promoted all out by a major label, it's a form of folk power. ARMY's strength. The power of emotional connectedness between artists and fans that can't be mapped by charts or designed by algorithms. And HYB. No comments yet. In fact, there are rumors that their legal team is considering action against those who disseminate unauthorized material. But what if the material comes from Jungkook himself? What if he himself leaked the song, knowing that it was the only way for his inner voice to? No one is ever really ready to see their idol cry. But more than that, no one is ready to witness how the system has been considered to protect. It can actually be a pressing wall. When news of Jungkook's unexpected record exploded in the international media, the world should have celebrated. But in fact, what happens is exactly the opposite. Behind the scenes, behind the camera's glare and the charts ranking charts, one thing is much darker: confrontation. And it did not happen in public, but behind the walls of the HYB building, in a room that had no cameras, no journalists. There were only words that ended up breaking like crystal glasses on a marble floor. A staff member who had walked into the meeting room when Jungkook was called out of the blue, just hours after the unnamed song made it to Billboard's top 3, said he saw Jungkook's eyes, watery, but full of fire. He didn't scream. He just said, "I've been quiet long enough. This song isn't just about me. It's about all of us. You can delete that song, but you can't delete the fact that I spoke." One sentence. But its vibrations destroyed more than 1,000 corporate policies. Meanwhile, the public wondered, why didn't HYB celebrate the record? Why do they look uncomfortable? Is it because the song is critical? Or is it because they feel like they are losing control of the brightest artist they have? But then, something unexpected happened. Jimin, the figure, always referred to as the emotion of BTS, appeared in New York. Not as an artist, not as a performer, but as a friend. And from the photos obtained by an anonymous fan site who deliberately kept the location of their meeting secret, it is clear that this is not just an ordinary meeting. Jimin looked at Jungkook deeply. And as if the world disappeared then, he simply put his hand on his best friend's shoulder and said, in Korean that was caught faintly by the microphone of a remote camera, "If they hurt you because of the truth you bring, I'll stand by you, even if I get knocked down too." The words spread across social media platforms. Translations have appeared in many languages. In fact, the hashtag Jimin with Jungkook was trending for 17 hours in 32 countries. But does this mean that Jimin will also go against the system? Or is he trying to be a bridge between Jungkook and the agency, but not everyone behind the scenes was happy with the moment? Some insiders started leaking information about the emergency meeting held by HYB's executive team after Jimin and Jungkook's video went viral. They began to worry about a domino effect of rebellion. A staff member even said in an anxious tone, "If Jungkook can do it, then who can stop other artists from doing the same?" And that's probably the industry's biggest fear right now. It's not just about one song, but about the influence of a Jungkook who chooses to be honest, despite having to fight the giant system that raised him. Some Korean media even began to ask sharply, is HYB really afraid of losing control? Or are they afraid of losing the narrative? In the midst of it all, fans started digging into Jungkook's old lyrics, old interviews that used to feel ordinary but now feel like secret codes. One of them was a remark in the documentary Break the Silence, when he said, "Sometimes I want to sing without a camera, not because I'm embarrassed, but because I want to sing only to the voice within myself." Is this all a prologue to something long planned? Has Jungkook deliberately harbored that frustration for years and now finally found the right moment to blow it up? And what about the BTS project that was supposed to start after the military? Will everything change? Further complicating the situation, several sources said that Jungkook had turned down the 2 main songs offered by HYB's in-house production team for BTS' comeback album. The reason? There are too many formulas. Too little heart. The remark shook the foundations of production. Because it's not just about musicality. It is about the inner war between authenticity and obedience. Between business and commerce. Between Jungkook and the label that raised him. And while the world awaited clarification, HYB remained silent. But behind the silence, the rumors are growing. There is news that HYB began to prepare a plan to cool down the situation. Some people said there would be manipulative statements about misunderstanding the distribution of songs. Others say they plan to systematically eliminate the footage from all streaming platforms. But what's most stifling